it going, everybody? Jodian here, and today I am in Stormworks. It's my day off, and I'm not. I didn't shave or anything today, so I'm not doing the cam. Anyway, you'll see that I am standing beside a cargo container. And the reason I'm standing beside a cargo container, this is in Stormworks, by the way, for those of you who aren't familiar. The reason I'm standing beside a cargo container is because I noticed not too long ago that these now have destinations. These have destinations, these have rewards, and it tells you how much time remaining you have to get there. So, I thought, hey, this could be cool. Let's build something that can get us there. Anyway, I have been working tirelessly on this project to build as you can see, these are rail lines, to build a train. I'm at the rail lines, so thus I'm building a train that can take these wherever I need them to go. This has not been an easy task, I tell you. This has been quite a painstaking task, and some of the stuff that you're going to see, I kind of slapped together. Some of the stuff I took my time with. And some of the stuff is going to be not very polished. Because sometimes I get to a point where it's like, it works good enough. And that's where it ends. It works good enough, and I don't need to make it go any further. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to show you first off one of my self-loading, self-unloading, self-whatever vehicles. And that is, if I can find it in this mess, this guy right here. So this guy right here, I made basically kind of like a subway car design. It's got the driver on the front left, or front right, sorry. Dyslexia kicking in there. Front right driver, and he's got all those controls in front of him. A nice window to look out of. Of course, not much to see on the track, so you don't need, huge peripheral vision everywhere. You don't have to see what is behind you. Well, you kind of do, but you don't have to see what's to the left, to the right, because you're in a train. So you can only go one direction, and that is forward. I guess two directions if you include backward. But regardless, here we are. So I built this little guy, and I thought, you know what? I can half-ass this by making this little cargo vehicle here, which is actually kind of cool. It's the first time I've tried to do one of these. To move cargo containers, and I think it turned out quite well. A lot of trial and error on it. I'm not, and it's still only a half-ass job, because as you can see right now, it's not connected to anything. It's just kind of sitting there, rolling back and forth. If we were going to go down the track right now, there would be all kinds of hell happening. So, I basically designed it to give me something that I can hook up to containers, get them quickly moved, and loaded onto the train. And because I had so much room left over, I also put a container bed here, which is what this is. There's enough room here for a container. So this can not only pull the containers around, it can also load a container onto itself. The only problem is if I go back here, this is the power plant. You can see it's an electric system running off of batteries. Unfortunately, Stormworks is too, let's say, haphazard with their generators. Their generators kind of suck. So these two batteries running this one medium electric motor cannot stay charged, even with two medium engines running two medium generators. So two medium generators is not enough to keep that electric motor running. And I always get stuck on the wall here for some reason. It's like I'm flying in space. And there we go. We got loose. For some reason, right there. Always getting stuck. Anyway, so besides the obvious problem of this thing not being able to make it down the rail because it doesn't have its own power source, I had to actually build a power car to go with this, which kind of defeats the purpose of it having a generator on the back in the first place. Anyway, so this little cart right here, the main reason it doesn't connect up or anything, whoops, and I do that so many times, the reason it doesn't connect up or anything is because I'm using quote-unquote display on it to do all the controls right here. So right there is my locks. You can see I activated my locks. Now the back's going to connect. Now, in order to activate my other ones, I got to be in the driver's seat. So docking connectors, press 2, and you'll see this light come on. Bing! And then, wha-bam. Okay, now it's actually connected up to a point where we can do stuff with it. I can load it, unload it. I got all the controls right here. So right now the cart magnets are on. So those two magnets there, well, they call them magnets. They're really anchors, but anyway. I can load and unload. I can winch down, winch up. Of course, the winch is there. And so if I hit unload, you'll see what happens. The little cart swings out. And she's ready to go. And then I just turn off the magnets. And ba-doom boom. Let the winch down a little bit. And I even created a place where I can store the winch rope. So I can detach the rope, and I can store it in there. And away we go. We're ready to cart our way around. I want to raise the rear arm. Works kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a I guess like a tow truck almost. Almost like a tow truck. Yeah, if I had to. And it has so much frickin' horsepower that it is sometimes hard to get it. Yeah. I need to up the steering because it just doesn't steer fast enough. Anyway. So we get her out here. And then we have our container. We'll back up to the back. Now this is just a first draft, like I said. I've got more to show you. So this is what I started out with. And if I can get the brakes to work, thank you. Yeah, okay. So this is the idea I started out with, because I couldn't figure out how to get a full-size container loading vehicle onto something like this at the start. So I have winches here. Winch up. I was supposed to winch up before I started driving, so those wouldn't flop around. Anyway, winch down. You can see them coming down. And we jump on them to get them to do their thing. Winch down some more. And Bob's your uncle. We can detach those and grab our rope from here. Stow it. Same with the other side. Grab the rope. And stow it. Okay. Now you're probably wondering what I'm going to do with this. Well, this goes on the back side of this container. So we'll slide this over. Which sometimes goes good, sometimes does not go good. So slide it over. Flip our little switch here. Flip our switch here. And boom. I didn't have room for a knot on here, so I couldn't, unfortunately, get the toggle button to work backwards. So the magnets, to make the magnets turn on, I actually have to turn off the switch. Because the anchors, the way the anchors function is, it's actually a release, not a. When you trigger them, they release. They don't grab when you trigger them. So then I come around to the front, and you can already tell what I'm going to do. Come around to the front like this, and I lower this, lower the arm. You can see it goes all the way down, and then we kind of just back her in, like so. Locks on, and we raise it up, and you can see now I have some clearance. The back is riding on a ski, and away we go. Now, this is, as you can tell, a really fun way to drive, because the skis don't have any traction back there at all. So if I hit a corner, like this thing's just gonna, there's no controlling it. It's like driving on ice. And with a container, driving on ice is not a good deal. But anyway, I'm gonna skip showing you how I load the container, because I will show you on another device or another machine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put the parking brake on. Maybe on. There we go. And we're going to take this back to the workbench as soon as I press the right key. Okay, so that's basically this guy in a nutshell. It's got batteries underneath here as well. Or wait, no, it doesn't. It has fuel underneath. That's all fuel in here. So that's where the diesel fuel is for the generators in the back. All right, so that was my first iteration of this self-loading, get stuff where I need it to go. Unfortunately, it only does about, I'd say about 15, I don't know if it's in knots, if the gauges are in knots or kilometers per hour, but it goes 15 anyways. So not too fast. Not too fast, especially when you start adding cars onto the back of it. It gets slow. So speaking of cars, the next car I had to build for this one was this guy. And this car, the only thing it does is powers everything. It's got 2 big batteries in it, or 4 big batteries in it, I should say, 2 each side. It's got a nuclear reactor, and it's got a generating station, steam-powered, running 4 generators at the back. It outputs about 1,200 watts, and it's enough to keep the train, the engine in front of it, running. The power is, of course, passed through the connectors which I built. I used the same connector design on all my trains, so you can see it there on the front. It's there on the back. Basically, it allows commands to be passed through. I do have a caboose that I can hook up to the back here, and I can actually control the front train from the caboose because it passes through the connectors, as well as power passes through the connectors. So when this train's hooked up, or when this car is hooked up, the entire train gets recharged, not just the front engine. And that's also the trick. That's also the trick for that little shunt car, for those wondering. The little shunt car has no onboard generating at all, no power generation, no motor, no nothing. It's got a battery bank underneath here, and when it is connected up here, when it's connected to the electrical connectors, power from this train recharges this little cart. So if you have the nuclear thing back here, the nuclear thing's recharging this car, and then, or this train engine, and then this train engine is recharging this little cart. So it's all kind of self-sufficient recharging. Everything gets recharged through the train itself. Now, I decided that I needed, or I wanted to put my power generation and my driving and everything all in one train, and this does not do it. I tried it. It doesn't work because it doesn't provide enough power. So this was my next design, and it doesn't really look that fantastic. This one needs a lot of polish done to it, because I created a design and then I started fiddling with it, rounding it off a little bit, and then I was like, I guess it's all right, but I want to do something with the nose up here. I don't really like the front end. It looks kind of like a Snowpiercer almost, and I don't know. And the doors on it. The doors are kind of cool, but in the same note, they're kind of not functional really. So I need to do some work on this one, but the main thing is it works. So I'll load this in. Whoops. I'll load this in and just show you. Yeah, close. Okay, so the door is here. I hit the switch and it comes down. It's basically a ramp. I need to slow down the swing out because it shouldn't really swing out like that. And then inside you have your pilot seat. You have a couple of passenger seats. I haven't done any polishing to this at all, so that's why everything's still white and colorless and just plain ugly. So the door is up and closed, as you can see. And back here, if we open up, we have our nuclear reactor. This is the exact same nuclear reactor I had in the other ship, or in the other train. What I did was I took the reactor itself, and you can see how it's kind of like a boot shape, like the toe of the boot, and then it comes down, and then you got your ankle over here. The way I originally had it, I don't know if you were watching, but I had it so that this part here, this whole section here, was actually down the floor, and it went up. And I found that was taking up a lot more room than it needed to. So by flipping the reactor upside down, what I, in essence, did was gained this much more space. So I pushed this back, I pushed the reactor back, and I got a whole pile of room here that I can now, come in, and now I have this cab here because I don't have a reactor in the way. So that was pretty cool, and I can still get somewhat all the way back here. I can get back to here, which is my generators. If I climb through, and there's a spot there, I can stand up. So I got the gearbox. There's a switch here for 3-to-1 or 1-to-1. I never touched that because I always wanted 3-to-1, but I put the switch just to get rid of the exclamation points, basically. That's the battery there to get everything started. And then, of course, there are batteries also in the train itself, but I've kind of placed them in a hidden compartment. So we have all this. And the reactor, of course, you can see it comes on right away, and everything gets fired up. Now this is enough to provide power to this entire train and keep it charged, keep it running for the whole trip. I don't have to stop and let it charge. I don't have to do anything like that. The drive wheels are actually the front. Ooh, wait a minute. No, the back wheels. There's a set of back wheels back here, both of them. There's two sets, I should say. There's one here, one there. You can kind of see them if I get back. I like having a skirt around the wheels. I don't know, I think it just looks cleaner. But anyway, so the wheels back here, two sets of them, they're both driven by one medium engine, which is hiding in the back. Can't see it, but it's there. I got the same connector on here. It's at the same height that all my connectors are at, so I can actually hook this up to my other train that I just showed you. And you can hear the reactor just humming away. This is just for effect. I don't actually need air going in there. It's just to make it look cool. Sort of. Anyway, this sucker I clocked at, because it's running two drive engines off of one medium, I'm able to actually get it to go a lot faster. Because it seems to have more grip. Running two axles instead of one axle seems to have more grip. So I can actually get this guy going a lot faster than I get the other train going. Which is nice, because, I mean, speed's the name of the game, especially when you're going up to the north. Anyway, since I have this, I no longer have a self-loader, as you can tell. It doesn't load up. Anyway, generators are kicking in now, so I'm actually going to duck in here so I can show you how much power the sucker's putting out. Watch your climb. So our rod temperature gets around 250, our boiler will get around 150-ish, somewhere in there. And our pressure, usually our pressure maxes out around 6, but we get full power long before it even hits 1. So like we're at 950 right now, we're only at 0.57 psi. And then I went through, I believe I did a video on reactors before. Just to show you how little changes here and there can cause big differences in your output. Basically, one of the main things is having a straight shaft to your generators, and the shortest shaft possible. That's one of the big ones. Another one is anytime you have T's in your line, you want to have a pump to put pressure through those T's, because when it hits a T, I believe the pressure drops by half, so you want to keep that pressure high, you got to use pumps. Anyway, our generator's putting out 1269, which is way more than enough to keep the batteries in this thing charged up while it's running full bore down the line. So I don't have to worry about running out of power with this thing. Alright, back to the workbench. And so just to show you, back here in the rear section, there's the motor that drives the wheels, and also the batteries. The battery packs are back here. I went with a whole bunch of medium batteries instead of the couple of large batteries because space confinement, pretty much. So there you have it. That's the power source for my new train, faster train, and a train that actually is fully functional, capable of keeping itself charged. Now, like I said, this is no longer a self-loader, so I had to do something about that. And what I did, and I actually just finished it not too long ago, probably a couple hours ago, was this guy. And it still has a lot of bugs in it. This is my container shunt car. It's got it's a small cart. It's just big enough for what it needs to do. And it has a cargo container transport, basically, on it. So I'll spawn this guy in, show you it. Kachinka. Okay, so you can see it's all connected up. I didn't get paint on the side there. Oh well. Oh, because it's tucked in when it's built, it's tucked in behind this. I can't get to it. So I'll have to remember that and see about painting it. Oh, I also didn't paint the bottom of those. I don't care about the bottom of the vehicle, but I need to paint the bottom of those. And that should be that paint. Okay, yeah, I gotta tune this one up. Anyway, so with this guy, I basically still needed a way to self-load and unload carts, because you can't just have a container miraculously appear beside your train. You gotta actually go get it. And containers at this base are back there. So it's not like you can actually run a tow rope either from the train. Although there are many who have tried. But anyways, so the way that I do this is I lower the deck of the side deck of the actual train car to get it out of the way, because if I don't, it'll kind of catch. And I have this bar up and down is actually that right there, left and right. But once it's out, yeah, you'll see. So anyway, hit the load unload button, and we'll swing this guy out. This one's got a little more issues with it as far as getting it loaded back on, because its length and weight. I have troubles with it, so I kind of have to fudge around. Also, I was having issues with these rotors up here. Normally I would have the rotors function, so when it's up like this, the rotors actually are rotating right now with power, you know? And then when it's up there, they're being held in position with power, and same down here. When you're bringing it out, they rotate with this rotor and rotate them out. But I was having issues with actually getting that to work for some reason. I don't know if it's the weight or something, but the rotors would not rotate. So I had to do what I had to do. Anyway, so we rotate it out. We now do the bars up and down, because now it actually is up and down, because it swung out. So now we do the bars up and down, lowers it a little tiny bit more, and then we can drop it. Kachinka. Now, you see that's freely rotating, which is a problem. That guy freely rotates now. So by the time I come back here, it could be all screwed up. Could be like upside down or whatever, and that's a problem. So I put some winches, which kind of help. I put some winches here and here, and the anchors there and there. They kind of help get it back into position. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it semi-works. Okay, so now I'll show you what this guy does. So we hop in the driver's seat. Actually, the first thing I want to do is get this the hell out of the way. So we'll return that to its upright position on the... Well, that's kind of cool that the thing stayed in position. Anyway, we'll hop on here in our driver's seat, and I did not trim out the steering in this yet. No, I did not. So we're going full bore left and right. Anytime we turn. This ought to be fun. Okay, so we pull out here, and of course there's our container that we want to load up. So we'll pull up front, we'll back into her, get close anyway. You see, we're just backing her in nice, and we will parking brake 1. Okay, now comes the fun part. This actually has bed hydraulics, so I can lower the back bed. You see how high it is off the ground right now? It's up about a block, whatever. So I flip this little switch right here, this one here, and the bed goes down. You can see it's on the ground now. It's actually the wheels raise up, but whatever. So now that the bed's on the ground, we can move the bed extension back. And then once it gets all the way back, you can see it's got a couple of the anchors on it. So it'll go back. Now I did notice some issues loading it on. It seems to not want to get stuck, but there's a lot of friction pulling it back on. So bed magnet's on now, and we'll see that it goes clink. Unless I got to back up. I might have to back up more. There it goes, clink. And then we leave the bed down and turn this off, and it should start to pull. Should start to pull. Why are you not pulling? Unless she's jammed up. Oh yeah, she's jammed. This is what I mean when I said it gets a little jammed up. Oh, I'm hooked on the track. The container's actually hooked on the track. That's why it's not working right. There, well, yeah, the container's hooked on the track. Normally you wouldn't do this on the track. That back corner of the container over there is getting hooked. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can drag this out a little bit. We'll extend the bed, raise the hydraulics up so I can get my rear tires. We'll drag this over here if we can. Yeah, see, she's getting jammed up. Come on, you Lego. Lego my container, you stupid rails. There we go. I think we got her free. Is it free? It's free. Okay. I think. No, it's still semi-jammed up. Alright, there. Okay, so this should work. I hope, right here. We'll lower the bed back down. Okay, and we'll try to bring it up now. It's still gonna be a dick. It's still getting stuck on something. See, I did this on the pavement and it worked fine. For some reason, right here it's getting... Probably because it's at the rails, like I said. The rails like to screw with your containers. Even though I'm between the rails, I think it's still jammed up on them. Let's raise the bed now. See if we can get her off the ground far enough so she'll come out. She'll come with me. Yeah, see how my car's bumping on the rails? Boom. It's getting jammed up. There we go. Okay, we're off the rails. So it should work better now. Brakes. Okay, now you can see it sliding forward. It does go slow, but it shouldn't stop. So there, now it's fully loaded. You can see the back end's off the ground because the hydraulics are up. So rear hydraulics down, and the back is firmly planted on the ground. And when I go back, rear hydraulics up, it lifts it off. So now we have clearance. And because it's all on wheels, it means that no more sliding around. I can actually drive it. Like I could drive it around like a truck. I can park it where I need to, and then I can unload it. So I find this to be a much better way of loading and unloading these containers, even though there's some obvious glitches to it that I need to work out eventually. It seems to be a much better way of doing the job. And I'm not actually going to get rid of this because I want to show loading a container. So we'll head over. Oh god, that's the only issue I have with this. It's got a long wheelbase and it's low. So I kind of have to go on an angle to get up these things. Like that. Not a big deal though. Okay, so I'm going to bring this guy just over here. Whoa. And we'll park him. Also the steering. I need to work out the steering. Okay, so we'll park this right here for now. Because I want to get a different trailer. And I did not put my trailer brakes on this, did I? Please tell me I didn't put my trailer brakes on this. If I put my trailer brakes on this, I'm not going to be able to get it to move. Hiya! Okay, it doesn't look like I put my trailer brakes on this. Because I need to bring in another trailer, but I need this trailer out of the way to do it. Because if I despawn this, I'm going to lose my cart, too. And I want to keep my cart. Whoop. Get over here. Just push you out the door, like so. Should be good enough. Great vehicle, yeah, okay. So now I'm gonna load in this guy because I do need. I know the next trailer I want to bring in actually has trailer brakes on it, so it has to be connected to a train in order for the brakes to shut off. It's like a safety feature. If you disconnect from the trailer, the brakes apply. So we're gonna go up here and we're gonna push this sucker forward a little tiny bit here. Give her a little boom boom until we get close to the exit. Okay, now we're going to put the brakes on. This train here automatically applies the brakes if I have the throttle at 0. So if I throttle down to 0, the brakes go on. Which, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes it's nice to coast. But there really is no coasting in this game. Because there's no downhill or uphill as far as the trains go. At least I don't think there is. So let's bring in our next car, which is going to be the container car. This guy right here. This is my container car. As you can see, it doesn't really have much to it, except it has 2 spots for containers. And these rotors actually work, believe it or not. They work as intended, unlike the other cart. So when I go load unload, you see that everything rotates in unison here. That bar rotates with this bar. Everything stays in pretty much in unison, and we get a nice level playing field. Now, I copied this. I copied and pasted that. Identical for that, but for some reason it doesn't work over there, so I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the point of this. Okay, toggle button, we got that turned on. Okay, we'll toggle button to turn this connector on. Beautiful. Alright, kind of get you guys facing each other because you like to go flubub when I do this. And the hum you're hearing is a lot of little ions bumping into each other. Oh, they're gonna go flubub. Oh, maybe. Oh, I got him. Nice. Okay, reverser off. Let's get this sucker moving a little forward here. I'll push that car further down the track as we pull this one out. And my door's still open. Who cares? So we bring this guy out. And you know what? I'm going to load up 2 just so you can see from start to finish one of the cars being loaded. So we'll put throttle to 0, which applies the brakes. And we'll hop out of here. The reactor's still running, which is awesome because that's going to charge us up. Now, for this little fun thing, I have some lasers on here. Those are laser guides. And we're going to run in, jump in our driver's seat here. We're going to turn off our brakes and hopefully try to get this lined up proper-like. Yeehaw! This is going to be fun because the front steering is currently set to 11. There is no somewhat turning. There is either full left or full right. So this could get rather mildly interesting here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll bring this in like so. And we will get her close. Whoops. A little forward. And a little forward. A little forward. Brakes. Okay, so you see how the laser beams, they line up on the car. Or on the cart, I should say. They line up right against the electric connectors on the top. So we'll turn those on. And we can actually turn off the lasers now because the laser guides were in position. We'll do our load-unload toggle. You can see the bar likes to come out. And, oh. Yeah, see, I didn't count on that yet. Alright, well, I obviously have an issue there. So, I'm going to have to do this a little differently. I thought I was going to be able to load that, but apparently I can't because I made this connector too high. I can't make it lower, though, because that's what it actually uses to get it back onto the vehicle. So I might have to do an adjustment to these to make them fit over this. You hear the generators kicking in. Anyway, plan 2, or plan B, plan whatever. Laser guide on. Into the driver's seat. Alright, so if we can't do that one way, we're going to do it the other. And the way we'll do it is, we will lower our bed. Lowers the bed. And we're going to offload. See, that's how it's supposed to move. That right there is how it's supposed to move. Now right now I'm dragging the ass of this thing, plus the container, so I don't expect to be going very fast here. Come on, container. You can do it. Almost there. Almost there. Actually, if I raise the back end, I might have a better chance. There. Oh, look at that. Way easier to move it. Okay. So that's semi-close. This is not the way I want to be doing this, but I guess it works. Okay, so we have that hooked up. We got that hooked up. Now, if I let go of my magnets, shut those off, can I pull out of there and leave that behind? Or is it going to hang on? Whoop, there we go. Alright. That extension off, rear hydraulics up, and we're good to go. So park that there. Container is all lined up. I'm surprised. We'll turn the laser guide off. Lower the deck. Of course, these decks sometimes have issues going down because of the way they're designed. I have to do an edit to them like I did with the with that one up there. There's too much meat. I got to take this row out here because it sometimes gets hung up on these, even though they obviously have clearance. They just don't have clearance. I know, I can't figure it out either, but whatever. It is what it is. So we'll turn those connectors off. Okay, we're a little far over, but that's alright. The magnet should be able to grab it. We will... There. Magnet's on. Pachinko. There we go. You don't have to be dead on with these guys, which I like. And bar up. Raise it off the ground. Load it. And away we go. Container loading onto the train. Kachinka. Just like that. And then we raise the deck side and it's secure. So we have one car loaded. I don't even know where it's going. Where's this going? BBG. That is in the Arctic. Let's see if we can find another BBG. This thing loves to spin its front tires. That's where the power is. I couldn't actually fit motors on the rear tires, so I had to put the power on the front. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got an evergreen here. That is also going to BBG. Okay. This could be interesting because it's on an angle. Or it's not on an angle, I should say. I'm going to have to kind of do a wedge thing. So, let's spin this thing around. Actually, the best thing about the steering is the fucker spins on a dime. Like, quite literally. Okay, so we're going to come in here. We're going to do a little horse trade and kind of bump this guy back a little bit. If I can. I should not have hit the brakes. I should have just bumped it and kept going. Okay. Can I rotate you to get a better angle? Very possibly. Of course, another thing I could do, although I'm too stupid to, is I could use those bed winches for more than just lifting the vehicle back onto the trailer. I could be using those bed winches right now to pull this thing out so I can load it on. But, you know, that'd be too much, that'd require too much intelligence. So we'll go equip our rope, click onto here. We got a container lock up top. Ka-ching. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. To the other side. Pull it out of here. Ka-chink. And Ah. Come on. You got... Oh. I don't want the electric connector. I want the... There it is. Okay. Alright, now let's see if we can pull it out. We might be able to. We might not. Brakes off. And let's go. Hiya! Oh, she's a toughie. She is not happy about moving. Of course, if I had more traction on these tires, I could probably do that too. Or if the back tires were driven, which would be nice. Having all the power in the front is not a good thing. Especially in cases like this. Actually, that might be enough to get me... That might be enough to get me loaded. That probably is enough to get me loaded. So I'm looking at it. But I can swing it back like this. No, maybe not. Little more. Little more. Come on, you. Hiya! We're getting her. I don't know what my power level's at yet. That'll be a question. What is my current battery level at? I'm guaranteeing it's not very good. What are we at? 78. That ain't bad. That ain't actually that bad. Okay. So let's hop out. We'll unhook these now. Detach. Put it away. And over here. Like I said, I just finished this. I just actually finished this build on this vehicle, so there are still a lot of things I gotta work out on it. It is definitely not the finished product. Especially the steering. I don't mind being able to go full lock like that, but geez. Doing it in half a second is not a good thing. Okay. Turn you on. Back to our thing here. We'll extend our bed lock out. And we'll drop our hydraulics down. Slide her under. And then we will fire up those magnets. And wait for it to grab. There we go. Okay. Let's load her back on. There, it's moving. It's very slow because I don't actually have the gear ratio set up on it yet, too. I want to do a better gear ratio for the sliders, because right now they're a little underpowered, as you can see. I find that reversing helps. If I reverse a little bit, it helps pull them on a little better. Also, sometimes they'll wiggle back and forth. I think it gets caught on the sidebars, even though I've obviously made them, you know, shaped so that it shouldn't catch. Come on, tire, stop spinning. But yeah, I definitely have to I definitely have to do something about their power levels, and also do something about the what's the word I'm looking for here? The steering and the... Come on, brain. Do the brain thing. Oh, wheel grip. I gotta do wheel grip. That's another thing. There it goes. Now it's coming up the way it should. Alright. We got her. Bing. Alright, loaded. And rear hydraulics up. Whoop. Leave the bed magnet on. And let's roll. Again, the front wheels are spinning because there's no chill. It goes from 0 to full throttle. That's why they're spinning. But I think this actually works pretty well as a mover, as a container mover. So we'll bring it over here to the tracks, my favorite place in the whole entire frickin' world. I actually hate tracks because everything gets stuck on them. And then we'll back her in. And her brakes on. Now this bed, I think, is going to get stuck because it doesn't look like it's moved at all. Oh, it didn't get stuck. Nice. Alright. That's good. Laser guide's on. And we will back her in and offload her. Extend the bed out. Alright. So I'm extending it out without lowering the back. It seems to be going much better. Although I can see my front end starting to come off the ground. Now we'll lower the rear hydraulics. Okay, and we'll see if we can get this lined up. Oh wait, I need those up so I can move it. Actually move it. Okay, somewhere around here, there, somewhere around there. Goes down. Let's see if she's still lined up. She is. Okay, magnets off. Gently set her down. There we go. Rear hydraulics up. And bring our bed back in. Park her here. And we'll load up this one. Lasers off. Bring our load unload out. Shut that off, turn that on. And bring our bar down. Magnet it up. Chink. And bars up. Load it on. Now for those who are wondering why I didn't put all of this into one system, it's because sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes either the bed won't go down, or the magnets don't grab proper, or the bar, I need to jiggle the bar like this to get it to properly seat, something along those lines, because it's a little bit buggy here and there. So that's the reason why I don't have all of this into like one push button control, because I love one push button controls, I really do. But sometimes it's not possible to do a one button control. Now I'm going to actually get rid of this now, if I can. Yes, I can. And we'll spawn her back in. So it's in the proper position, which is behind the train, or, you know, behind the engine. Is this turned on? This is turned on. Is that turned on? That is turned on. It should actually be right behind the engine, but whatever. It is what it is. A little tiny bit of reverse here. Hopefully it doesn't ka-chink wrong. Okay, rocked up. Gotta go take a look at see how it ka-chinked, because sometimes it goes wrong, sometimes it doesn't. And if it goes wrong, I just have to kind of unlock and relock. No, it went perfect. Awesome. I can see I got a light on both. That indicator light only comes on when these two down here are connected, which is what I passed everything through. So if either of these lights aren't on, then this is not connected properly. So both lights are on, as you can see. There it goes. You can see right there how it didn't come on right away. Alright, so now this is basically set up. Normally I'd put on more cars. Like I'd put on, I'd take as many of these cargo cars as I could. Just load them up with everything I got. Everything that's here to go to whatever, be a BVG terminal, whatever. But for right now, just to kind of demo this, we're going to leave it like this. So let's bring her up to see how fast we can go. I don't actually have a speedometer on here though. I didn't install one yet. I wanted to put one right on this beam here, but I did not. I can tell you though, this train goes faster than my other train. I think I can actually get it around 35%, 35, 40, something like that before the back wheels start squealing. Here we are, one happy train. 40? Oh, I got her to 40%. Got her to 40%. She's still rolling. 47? Still rolling. I'm definitely now going faster than... I'm going way faster than my other train. Guaranteed. My other train would not make it to this speed. This one's moving pretty good. Let's try 50. No squealing. 55? Oh, there it is. 57. We're squealing. 52, we're not. 53. Okay, so 52 is our hard limit. 52 is our limit on this guy. So my actually plan was to have this this cart resting on the deck, but I couldn't figure out a way to do that and keep it stable. So that's why it's kind of hovering in the air, and there's some notches here. But anyways, that's my trains. I do still have one more thing to show. It is the Caboose. However, I'm not. It's not to a functional state yet, because I just kind of recently built the front part or the engine here. So I have not yet put in the automated control system that will link it to the Caboose in the rear for backing up. I haven't put in a camera system so I can see what's behind me, because the Caboose actually has a rear-facing camera, so you can see from the front. You can see from up here what's going on back there, which is useful for backing and if you're backing into, say, a switch, it's good to tell you when you can stop or when you should stop before you get to that switch. Things like that. And we're going into this corner here pretty lickety split. I mean, this isn't the fastest vehicle I've ever had on these rails by far, but we should see some bumping here as it goes around the corner. Maybe. Bump, 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 bump. There it is. Setting up, resonating. No. Not quite, not quite. Oh, we got a little rail skip there. Oh, the containers are starting to tilt a little bit. Anyway, slam on the reverser. I don't see any squeals, which is nice. The reverser is going to be nice and smooth. Nice. It is nice and smooth. I didn't even adjust the speed, I just hit the reverser. Basically all the reverser does is takes it. Oh. Crap, didn't want to go this way, but whatever. All the reverser does is takes the throttle input and reverses it. Because my throttle goes from 0 to 1, so this just makes it a negative 0 to 1. Well, negative 0 is not really a thing, but you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying. How's this switch? Bring her down. Brakes on. Okay, that's already set up, so let's just get her forward and fire it up. What did I say, 52? 52, there we go. Forward, oh! I'm very hard on gears. Gearing systems. Oh, my headlights are on. And if I stand up, they're not. I rigged the headlights to the driver's seat. You're sitting in the driver's seat, the headlights are on. So we'll head back here, and I believe I do. I have one more thing to show you. I think I have one more thing to show you. Oh yeah. Just as a bonus thing, it's not really a train. Just as a bonus thing, I'll show you my my winter runner. Its only design is to get me up to the North Pole fast. That's it. That's its only design. When I'm playing campaign or whatever mode you want to call it, that is the vehicle I pull to unlock the North, because it gets you there in no time at all. It's not the fastest thing I've ever seen, but it's fun. It's a fun little vehicle. Fire it up and go for coffee. By the time you come back, you're at the North. So I'll take you back here so I can show you that. I tried building a train that was weaponized as well, but that didn't work out very well. Couldn't get the gun turrets to work properly on the train bed, or on the train deck. The radar tracking would not lock on properly. It tried locking onto everything except the target I was aiming for. Which is weird. Like, if I was driving by here, it'd be trying to lock onto the lighthouse, the buildings, the trees. Well, maybe not the trees. But it would just randomly lock on to something stupid instead of locking onto the AI. Which I feel it's something they need to fix. Radars are cool and all, but if your radar's locked onto something that's not an AI, you need to be able to tell your radar, that's not an AI, lock onto the next target. And from my knowledge, there's no way to automatically do that right now. I don't believe it can tell when it acquires a target what the actual target is. Other than, hey, I got a target. So anyway, you can kind of tell by the the posts here that we're moving a pretty good clip. Not a ridiculous amount of speed, but it's fairly decent. We'll bring the throttle back. Hopefully stop before we crash. Brakes on this thing are pretty good. And there we go. Open to sesame. Just leave that running. Okay, let's get my North Pole runner, because it's just, as a bonus vehicle, might as well show you that. If I can figure out which one it is, because I think I have a couple of them. One of them worked, one of them didn't. It's probably going to be the first one. This guy. My Diesel Arctic Sled. This is it. It'll get you there with time to spare. So, spawn this guy in. See, I give it a bumper. There's a reason for that. In the passenger seat, or in the driver's seat, whatever. Okay, we got our throttle, we got our aux power, we got our push button. That's our starter. Aux power on. Starter up. Okay. Brakes off. Throttle. Go. It's a giant fan machine! And it's not the fastest vehicle I've had going down the rails, but it's still pretty fun. So it runs a little gearbox, it's got a gearbox, it's got a clutch. Of course the clutch slowly engages because you don't want the thing stalling. And it's got a little generator on the bottom. It's got fuel tanks everywhere. There's like fuel tanks there, fuel tanks over here, there's a fuel tank up in there, there's 2 more fuel tanks up here. Just to make sure it's got enough fuel to get you there. But this is the vehicle I'll load up in campaign mode if I want to go to the north. To unlock the north, I should say. Get you there in a decent amount of time. The only thing you got to watch out for is the next split coming up, because it is it goes back to the main island. I swear this thing sounds like the floor fan I use in the summer to keep the apartment cool. It's probably what they recorded. Somebody's floor fan. Alright, here we go. Throttle her down. And apply those brakes. Oh, we're gonna freaking shoot right past. Yeah! Alright, reverse. A little bit. A little bit of reverse. Brakes. There we go. Alright. Clickety-click the switch. And we're Arctic bound. How's our fuel? We're still full. Of course, I think that gauge only goes to 450. I don't... We're... Battery power, rod temp, engine temp. Okay. I didn't actually put a fuel gauge. Alright. Brakes off. Get the shit out of here. Wah! We're at 60, 70. I think it gets up to about almost 80, I think. Almost 80. $78, 78.7. So yeah, almost 80. Which gets us there at a pretty good clip. Like right now I could go for coffee. Even though I don't drink coffee, I could go for coffee. And by the time I come back, I'll probably be in the Arctic. I'm not going to do that because I'm streaming. But like I said, when I'm doing the campaign, this is the way I do it. To get up to the Arctic. And it's got, you can see it's got a ram air intake up there. That sucker's just chugging down the air right now. There's a reason I went with ram air on this one. I believe if I remember, yeah, there's 4 fans. For those wondering, there's 4 fans there being driven. I did try it with less fans. I also tried it with more fans, and I found that 4 gives me the optimum speed. If I add more fans, I lose too much rotation, or I lose too much power. They don't spin as fast. I don't gain any speed from that. I actually lose speed. And again, if I have less fans, the fans will eventually reach their max RPM, because there is a max RPM for these things. It'll reach the max RPM, and I'll actually lose more speed, again, because the fans have maxed out on their rotation speed. So I find the 4 fans with this design is the best thing that I've been able to do. It gets me the highest speed, which again, 78.7, 78.5 in the corners. And it gets me up to the Arctic in no time. I'm already past the first island here, chain here. And you kind of get a gauge for how fast I'm going when I'm actually passing these things. Because it's like, oh look, it's an island. Where to go? It's gone. I think once I built one of these guys with a couple of... now this was before they did the engine update with modular engines. I actually had one of these guys using propellers, like airplane propellers, and it probably went quadruple the speed this thing's going. But I could not get the propellers to actually work as well as these ducted fans. Which is sad, because, you know, I really like the propellers. I thought it looked cool having you know, half a dozen propellers behind you just spinning and ripping everything to shreds as you're going down the track. But for some reason, I can't put them on. Like I said, when they did the engine update, I don't know if they changed the size of the propellers or changed the size of the box that you can build in for trains. They changed something because the propellers that I used to use don't fit anymore. I can't put them on. Like, they're not actually installable. And the propellers that I can put on are too darn small to do any good. So let's take a look at our map here. Look at how fast we're shooting along this. We're already probably, what, a third of the way there? Third of the way there, probably. Oops, get out. Get out of here. I'd say about a third of the way there. And we're moving at a fair clip. Don't want that. Go away. So yeah, by the time I go have coffee, come back, I'll be at the Arctic. And I got these little push bars on the front, because sometimes I don't make it back in time, and she plows right into something. So, that's why those bars are on the front. We got ships up here. I wonder if they're going to try taking pot shots at me. I think that's a fishing boat. I have one island where they shoot at me constantly. That's the island I try to demo my weapons on. I actually haven't gotten any radar-controlled systems to work yet. I tried to create radar-controlled missiles, could not get them to work. I tried to, like, and I even went onto the workshop, grabbed somebody else's missile design, basically copied it, built it from scratch, but copied what they did, and the thing still won't track proper. So I don't know what they're doing that I'm not doing. I fire a missile and it'll go at the target for about 30 seconds and then go straight up. And even if I reverse the inputs, so I tell it like up is down, just to see whether it'll go down instead of up, it still goes up. And I read somewhere that I could have to do with the rocket power, so I don't know if I have to adjust the thrust of the rockets. I honestly don't know. All I know is the missile don't go where I tell it to go. Anyway, so I'm probably going to cut off here. Actually, I can leave this thing. Or can I? I'll go show you one of my rocket things before I call it a day. We'll head down to the island here. This is the island that's always getting bombed. So we will teleport here. Our train should continue up to the Arctic. So I'll warp in here. We'll go by this. I have unlimited money because this is basically my sandbox mode. What the hell? We has a fire. Here. Actually, where is my my little fire truck? Actually, a pumper truck. It doesn't have an onboard water supply, but it does have a fire extinguisher. So we'll just take away that. Oh, yay! Nice. Fire's out. We'll store that. Something for every occasion. All right, so load. I'll load my my weapons. This is the last weapon system I worked on. It's a radar guided weapon system, and basically it uses the new fins. These guys. It uses the new fins for steering, and it's got the radar on front. It's got the impact detector on it. But yeah, I'm wondering if maybe can you tune these down? Oh, you can tune these down. Well, if I tune this down to maybe 50%, see what happens. See if it'll still go straight up in the air. Actually, I could try a different setting on each of them. Let's go 40 on this one. We got 50 on this one. 50, 40. Let's go to 60 on this one. And this one will go 70. So what do I got? I got 30. No, I got 50, 40, 60, 70. So 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay. 40, 50, 60, 70. So I basically just built this as a weapons platform. It's not actually intended to be a military vehicle of any kind. It's just built only for this purpose of testing out this weapon system. Okay, so we'll head over here, and as usual, I should have some targets. There's a boat out there. Are there two boats out here? No. Where are those other? There's usually two boats off on this side shooting at me. I don't see them though. One boat there. The tank's down at the end. So if I go like this, I'll pull this guy here, put on the brakes. Okay. See, the laser comes on. The laser is for my own use, just for targeting purposes. Because I want to make sure that what I'm pointed at is what those are pointed at. So this thing moves with these, so I can get it pointed in the right direction. So it should be locked onto that right now. That should be the target that we're locked onto. It's not using laser guidance, just FYI. I'm only using the laser to actually aim. So I should be locked onto that. So let's fire one. That's the bottom. And where the frig did you go? I don't even know where that went. So you can hear the beeping. So we are locked on. Fire it again. So that's number 2. You can see there it goes. It's zipping off into the sky. Number 3. Yeah. Well, that one went down. That one at least blew up. And then we'll fire 4. That one went down too. So the two that went down, those I think were the lower powered ones. Were they not? 40, wait. I'm gonna do this again. Actually, you know what I should be doing? I should be counting these as 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I select this, actually, this here. So 1 is this guy. So this is 1. So 1 should be, we'll set 1 to 50. Okay. Set 2. So that's 1. Set 2. Who is 2? 2 is you. So 2 we'll set to 60. And then 3 is going to be 70. And 80 for 4. Just make sure that's 4. And you are, yes, 4. Okay, so we got 50, 60, 70, 80 from 1 to 4. That'll make it easier to track which is which. So, again, I'll drive her out. Got to be more targets. Oh, there's a good target. Fuck, we got Santa Claus out here. They're all dressed up as elves. Welcome to wintertime in Stormworks. Okay. Oh, we got 2 targets. These might be the 2 boats that are usually shooting at me. So I'll pull up here. That turns on. Okay, so you can hear I already got beeping, which means I'm already locked onto something. I doubt it's those boats. Well, that is not a boat that attacks me normally. See if we can get off target, bring it back. And we're on target again. Okay. So I'll zoom you back out a little bit so I can see what's going on here. So this is 50. Down it goes. 60. Down it goes. 70. Down it goes. What the frig is it going after? 80. And 80 also went down. I don't know what the hell they're attacking. I wish I knew how to put an overlay on here so I could see what it was actually locked onto. Because this uses the same radar guidance. Basically, I mean, kind of not, but close. Same radar guidance as another system that I designed. I don't understand why it's not locking on to stuff proper. Now, I also tried laser guidance using the laser detector, which is this one? Yes. I'm pretty sure it was this one. So I tried using this too, and I couldn't get it to work either. I don't know if I could drop that on the end now. No, I cannot. Dang, builds. Okay. So I got to do this all over again. Because these are the impact sensors, which have to be put in after the fact. So you got to go like this. You got to put these on. Then you delete these. And you put the impact sensor on. It's kind of weird how you can do it this way, but you can't do it. You can't connect that to the front of that, but you can do it this way and it works fine. I don't understand, but whatever. So I've tried this setup too, and I couldn't get this setup to do it either. So I need my arming. Hold on. Yeah, it's going to take a second. Hey, John! Do I have my tree up yet? Unfortunately, no. I do not have my tree up yet. Detonate, detonate, detonate. My tree was supposed to go up today. I went to storage, got my tree. I was like, yay, I gotta put my tree up. Got home, started opening the box, taking everything out. Realized I am missing the base of it. So, no, I haven't. I haven't put up my tree yet. Alright, so we got our XY on here. I'm going to hook that to the back. Like so. Alright, and that should, in theory, now use the laser beam to lock on and hit our targets. I do believe I need power to the front, though. Power to the people. Why aren't you hooked up? Well, that could have been my issue. Doesn't appear I even had power hooked up to these fins. Oh, bud. Yeah, I was heavily even debating putting my tree up this year. Just for the simple fact of nobody visits. Like nobody ever comes over to my apartment, so I usually go everywhere else's. So the only person I really put up my tree for is me. Unfortunately. So I mean, when it goes up, I mean, some years I've had it go up literally 2 days before Christmas. I put it up, and then like the day after Christmas, I took it back down again. Where are my... Why do I have markings on this? Because I haven't hooked up the wavelength? Shouldn't need to hook up the wavelength. Shouldn't have to have a number there. It should just go by whatever... It should go by the base one. Okay. So we'll try this one. I don't think this is going to work any better, but we'll see. I was able to get a good target lock on the one that was over here, so I'll do that. But yeah, for some reason my missiles never want to lock on properly. Woo! This little test bed is kind of... True. That's true. I just didn't feel like going back out today. I'll probably do it tomorrow on the way home from work. I'll stop and pick up the tree base. Okay, so we got a laser target. Our laser is designated. I can see the sheen. So hopefully our missile will also be able to see the sheen. And let's see what happens. Huh. Well then. Apparently Missile 1 says, screw you. What the hell happened there? Missile 1 was like, I'm out of here. Did I hook up something wrong here? No? Impact sensor? Oh, I know what it is. My impact sensor sensitivity is probably way too low. Ah, there it is. So, I usually set these about 8. Just so they don't explode in my face. Okay. There we go. So now we will try this again. I'm going to actually launch the first one before I even get out of there just to make sure it works. Ready? There goes one. Okay, so boom! Yeah! Rocket's red glare there. Alright, we'll just do this to make it spawn again with all the rockets. Okay. So we know the rocket will fire forward. It'll fire a fairly straight line. But will it follow the target? Again, I can't get the radar one to work. I can't get it to properly lock on with a radar and do its thing. But if I can get it to lock on with a laser, at least that's something. That way I at least know my control system is fine. It's just the radar system that's screwed up. Whee! Okay. So, let's zoom in here, get a beat on that boat. Which is over here. Somewhere around there. Am I locked on? Not quite. Come on. You got this. Tiny. Tap. Tap. Dang it. Tap. Dang it. Yeah. Tap. There we go. Now we got a beam. Have I looked at Minecraft 1.18.1 yet? I have. It is pretty. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, I must say so. I'm liking the new content. So one is off, and it went somewhere. Did not go where it's supposed to go though. Oh, now again, it's going up. Missiles 3 and 4. They launch, and they both went down. So even with the laser on and locked on, I obviously have a dot. The missiles did not go where they were supposed to go. So yeah, my missile system's still screwed up. So I have not figured out missile systems yet. And to be honest, the radar system's kind of screwed up ever since they did the radar update right after they came out with the warfare or the war updates, whatever you want to call them. Because I used to have, I had some really good systems, and all of a sudden they stopped working. I think where's my one? I think was this. Is this my auto lock? Yeah, this was my auto locking one. And it no longer auto locks, it's all messed up now from what they did. Used to auto lock to targets. Now it's like, oh, I don't think it's turned on. Hold on. I gotta turn you on. Now you're on. Or are you on? So yeah, this thing used to lock onto people, used to lock onto everything. Does not do it anymore. It would auto lock, it would fire a shot, and then it would reload. But it's not doing any kind of locking on at all. Completely broken. Where's my logic? Composite. So the radar output, it's supposed to lock onto a target, send that tracking output to the controller I have down here, and then that controller controls the base rotation, the velocity turret. Actually, that's where it is. So pitch to gun, pivot to turret, and then controls the output to the turret base and the output to the turret elevation. Supposed to lock onto a target, does not do it anymore because the radars are now flubbub. They do not work right. Or they don't put out the same information, I should say. Need to fix the power steering on that thing. On what thing? Oh, on that little cart that I was just using? Yeah, that little cart is just basically it's just a test bed. It's not an actual weaponized vehicle. That is just a test bed for shooting stuff. I actually have a lot of projects I'm working on. Most of these are projects I've been working on. I got the heavy autocannon. This one here is another test bed I was working on. It's supposed to use a laser designator. It locks on to the laser target. So you can see here if I hop in the seat and I can remember the controller here. Camera on. There we go. Okay, so say I go over here. I'll point this way. I'll turn on my laser. You can see the gun. Locks on. Gun is locking onto the laser target. Following it. If I turn the laser off, see the gun stops. Turn the laser back on. Gun's like, oh, there it is! So this one I actually got to work. For some reason I can't get it to work with missiles. I can get it to look down, I can get it to look up. Well, as high as it'll go. I can get it to look around. And then I can even have it fire on target. So this one actually works. I was actually able to get this to work fine. She's out of ammo now, of course. But the point is, I got this one to work. The laser designator, which the cannon follows. I was going to put this actually on a warship, so you could be in the warship, controlling this system with the laser and the camera from inside the boat, and then of course you'd have like 5 or 6 of these guns on the deck, so they'd all rain hell, all at the same time, just destroying whatever the hell you're aimed at. So this one still works. It's just I'm having troubles with the radar now. See, if I even move into the laser, see, it still follows me. If I move out of the laser, if I step into the laser here, it's going to lock onto me. I'm going to say, hey, there's a target. Woo! There it is! So, it always aims at the laser, which I love. As I said, this is one of the ones I was able to get working. The other one is the same thing, except it uses this one here, it uses a heavy autocannon. But it's basically the same thing. It uses a laser to designate the target, and then blows the hell out of it. Pretty much the same setup, just a different gun. So, camera on. Once again, I'll move my laser around. Turn my laser on. Ba-dink. It's like, hey, there it is! I see it! It's like a friggin' cat. And then, of course, if I hold space... Whoa! It puts a hole in it. And it doesn't know where it is right now. You can see it can't see the laser, so it's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And this is the only problem. If you go out of range, you have to actually get it around to the point where the camera can see the laser. And then once the camera can see the laser, it'll track again. So if you go across a horizon, like see I'm across the horizon right now, it does not see the laser, so it's like, where the hell is it? And it's doing its funked out thing. But as soon as it spots the laser again, it'll lock back on. I don't know why it's deciding to go all squirrely like that, but whatever. Bring it around. Oh, that's as far as my laser can go. Come on, gun. See the laser. Can't see the laser, can you? Cannot see the laser. So, this one obviously has a little bit of an issue there. If it loses sight of the laser, it tilts back. Probably due to weight. There's probably a lot of weight on the back of it, and that's why it's doing that. Oh. It woke up for a second. Anyway. Oh, because I shot the camera itself. Anyway, I got some extra ammo on the back here, some batteries, and yada yada yada. Charging tank tracks to get around. Anyway. So, I got the laser systems to work. Cannot get the radar systems to work. Cannot get a laser-guided missile to work either. I just don't know. I just don't know. But, you know, there's other people who were able to get these systems working, and they're the ones that I've been trying to... Like this one here. This one's actually an older style. It uses the older systems. Like you see the gyroscope stuff. Some of the stuff we don't have anymore. Or they incorporated it into other systems. But there was one point in time when it was a lot easier to get this stuff to work. So, just for this one, get to the right camera here. Okay, so just for this one, this was a test bed that somebody else built for their missile system, and well, let's try that again. Oh, my system, my system's spacebar is break. On their system, spacebar is not break. All right, what is break on their system? I don't even know. Do they have brakes? I'm not seeing brakes. Where's brakes? Oh, there it is. Okay, so their brakes are... Their brake is this button right here. So let's put on the brake. There we go. Okay, so now we can rotate. You can see we're locked onto that ship out there. 1.5 kilometers away. I wish I knew how to do this, because I can't figure out how to do this. I know you got to use LUA code and whatnot, but I haven't figured it out. So, I'm going to hit space, I'm going to hop out, and then I'm going to chase the missile, hopefully, using the home key. So here we go. Spacebar, out, home key, and we'll chase the missile. So this missile, as far as I know, is getting its tracking information from the base station still. So if the base station were to change targets, this missile would go a little wonky. It would probably go after the new target. But look at this. Look at how right on that shot is. Boom. Like, that couldn't have been a more perfect shot. So obviously there's missiles. Obviously missiles can be programmed because but I just can't figure them out. Anyway, I gotta get back to my thing here. So yeah, that's I went a little overboard. I started talking about trains and showing trains, and then all of a sudden I started going into everything else I've been doing. Where's my... Up here, my home base. Head back up to the home base. I guess I haven't showed off a lot of these builds I've been doing. So it's kind of overdue that I show them off. At least the stuff I've been working on. You can see I saved that nuclear reactor setup I had. I've used it in several things now. Here's a more compact version. It doesn't put out as much power though because it only has the wind turbine versus the 8 turbines I'm running on this one. A little more compact. It does work though. Where is my... Actually... Well, there's this guy. This guy actually works, I think. I think this guy still works. I called this my Sea King. It's still got a lot of... Any of my vehicles you see that are white still have bugs to work out. That's why they're white. I haven't quite nailed down everything to them yet. So if they're colored, odds are that they work. If they're white, odds are they have some issues. So this is my Sea King. At least that's what I call it. It's kind of 6x6 meets or is it a 2x6? Might be a 2x6. No. I think it's a 4x6. Anyway. It's like 4x6 meets underwater vehicle, I guess. Oh man, that's fun. The water is being drained out. Automatically gets drained out. You can see the fluid ports. I just have to wait until we have no more. It's actually an automated system. You can see the fluid meter right here. It's reading how much water's in here. When there is water in here, the pumps are automatically turned on. And when there's no water, the pumps are turned off. So huzzah. Got all the gear anybody would need. Got some beds, some seating, more seating, and of course our driver's seat. Since we're in the water right now, I forget what the keypad's for. What the hell's the keypad for? Oh, that's my radio. Okay. And a transmit receive. Okay. Why didn't I label these? Oh yeah. Okay, that is my water. Yeah, that is my... This toggle here is my water or land. So right now it's set to land. You can see the back wheels spinning. The propellers are... Well, the propellers are just randomly spinning for... Okay, I switch her over. I am now in boat mode. Yeehaw! And she goes like a bat out of hell. Of course, the steering is a little iffy. In the fact that there really isn't any. I had a steering system set up that basically would turn the left propellers or the right propellers faster, depending on which way you wanted to go. But I kind of did away with that system. I'm regretting doing away from that system because, as you can see, I got no steering. Even though the thing goes like a bat out of hell, it has no steering. Woohoo! And we're upside down. Mean. Now we're screwed. Anyway, easiest way to fix that, I can just throw a little rudder on the bottom or something. Put some rudders right here. There's a million ways to fix it. I'll do that right now, actually. Just something to do. Rudder! A couple of these guys. And we want when it goes positive. Okay. So D is positive, which means D, we want it to go to the right, which means we want it to look to the right. Yes. Okay, so that's proper. And there. And now we can connect those up to our steering. Because why not? Just connect it directly to the steering. WS. Nope, I don't want WS, I want A and D. Almost made a mistake. A and D. Okay, wait a minute. I have my tank controller here. Right motor, left motor. What? Where are you guys getting power from? Where are these props getting power from? Oh, they're getting direct power. That's why I don't have any steering. Okay. Forgot I did that. I hooked them up to direct power, so they're getting power right off the engines instead of... Or are they? Wait, where are they getting their power from? Where are those guys getting their power from? It ain't coming direct from the engines. Where's it coming from? Propellers come in. Propellers come in, and they're getting driven from something that's above that. What is above that? Let's take a peek inside here. Okay, so there's our propeller drive right there. Let's get a block here. That orange into clutches, which is coming around the front. Oh, it is being direct drive. Okay. It is definitely being direct drive. Or direct drove. Oh, no, it isn't. It's being driven by... Oh, the electric motor's there. Okay. So it's electric motors. So I should still be able to set that up. Oh, I know why I did that. Because the back wheels don't work right when you're doing that tank mode. That's why I did that. Okay, never mind. So anyway, we got rudders in now. So I'll be able to steer in the water. And we'll hook some power up to those. Power, power, power. If I can find my power system, because I don't even know anymore. Here we are. Hook that up to there. And we'll hook right side power up to the right side. I got 2 battery banks. They drain pretty much the same. So I don't really know why I have them hooked up the way I do, but whatever. It's all good. Then we'll spawn this guy in. And we should have steering now. Huzzah! Alright. Open the back door. Close the back door. And now she drains. Actually, can I see outside with third-person view? I can't. I wanted to show you the back getting drained. You can see the back of the vehicle actually raising as the water is pumped out. All right, all is dry. That door actually locks too when there's water in there, so you can't flood the rest of the vehicle. We will start up here and turn on our water systems. Make sure we got some. Oh, look at how slow those rudders. Wow, really? Why are you so slow turning? I swear you weren't that slow 2 seconds ago. Whoa, shit! Okay, well now we have steering. Look at how slow the turning is. I swear it wasn't that slow 2 minutes ago. So we head towards shore, and then when we hit the shore, flip this little switch here, and now we're gonna drive. And I have no idea why this thing steers so slow. Anyway. So I'll have to fix that. Anyway, back to here. Hi, Goldie! Back to here. We have a turret in here as well. Unfortunately, it does not go up and down, just goes left and right. But still enough to put a hole in stuff. And the shells just kind of pile up on top. And as you can see, it's got a fair amount of ammo. There, it's finally empty. So I mean, it'll do a fairly good job at putting a dent in something, as long as I can get aimed at it, of course. Other than that, I mean, this is it. This is pretty much it. It has a fire system on the side. So on this side, this is where the fluid hose is. This is the hose. So you'd extend that out. You grab your hose from here, connect your hose up to here, and then you go and you spray on whatever, you know. And of course you have the hose in, hose out, and your pump on and off. Now on this side, we've got over here hose in, hose out, pump on and off. But this is not a hose over here. This is actually the input. So this end you would take and you put in the lake, and this end is where you'd fight the fire. Doing pretty good, Goldie. No complaints. Of course, nobody listens when I do complain, so. You know how it is. Can you hear the motor cut out? That actually means my batteries are full. Because that's actually running a charging system. It's not running anything else. So we get back here. Oh, I didn't notice it's decorated for the holidays. Look at that. This place is actually decorated for the holidays. Look at that. I did notice the snow, and I noticed the snow on the trees, and if you can find people, if you can find some people, they're actually in elf outfits. What is up there? There's some decorations going on up there, too. Cool! Alright, now the last thing I want to show... Actually, I got two more things. 3 more things. Stop! 4 more things, 5 more things. No, okay. I'm going to show my ambulance truck. I already showed the fire truck a little bit. This is the ambulance truck. This was actually the first one I came up with. I came up with the fire truck second. This was the first one I came up with, was the ambulance truck. just because I wanted to dink around on islands. When I'm on the main island, I wanted to have something that'll take me from point A to point B, and this little truck does that quite nicely. Again, it's an ambulance truck. Here is for fuel. I can refill it from the fuel system. In the back, I have the medical bed slides out, and the door goes up, so we can load up our patient into here. I've got first aid kits and fire extinguishers and all that good stuff. We can load the patient in. And over here we've got our nice little door here. Whoops. Anybody who's been in an ambulance before, I got the jump seat, so you can sit here and monitor your patient while somebody's driving along. I got the passenger seat, of course, up front. Not really any need for it, but whatever, it's there. And then, of course, the driver's seat. And start her up. And away we go. It's not a super powerful vehicle, but it gets the job done, and it's actually pretty good. It has pretty good handling. So, headlights, interior lights on and off as well. It's got emergency lights, so I can turn those on and off. It does not have a siren because sirens they don't really exist. So yeah, you just pull up to the scene, load up your patient, and away you go. Oh, it's also got on the back, if you pay attention, you'll notice I already did. This is the first vehicle that I've done this with. Brake lights. So when I hit space, brake lights come on. I don't know why I haven't done this before, because it's so easy to do. You just basically space activates your brakes and your brake lights, and then when you're going in reverse, your reverse lights come on. So forward, reverse, and basically it just reads the throttle. If the throttle's in the negative, then the reverse lights come on. If the throttle's in the positive, then they go out. Really easy to do. But I don't know why, this is the first vehicle I've ever done that on. And it turned out really nice. So I'm kind of happy about that. The only downside about this vehicle, its gas tank is very, very limited. You can see we're already getting down. We're at 26. Yeehaw! But, again, it does drive really nice, and will get you around an island. So, yeah. Coming in. And there we go. So this one I'm pretty happy with. I haven't quite figured out the engine shutdown yet. I turned the starter off, it shuts everything off, but the engine still runs. So, I haven't quite figured that out. Yeah! Pretty cool, Goldie. So there's that one. Another one I've been working on. So I actually have 3 vehicles for that. I started with the ambulance truck, then I made the fire truck, which is basically the same thing, except I put a pump in the back of it. I took the patient bed out, I put a bump in the back, and it's got the a water system on the side, just like that big, just like the big Sea King does. And then the utility truck. The utility truck, basically the back of it is just full of all kinds of stuff, like welders, rope. I've got all the tools, everything. All the tool stuff that is in Stormworks, I shoved into the back of that and called it a utility truck. Okay, what else? Anything else for land? I think it's all sea now. Most of the time, I spend my time in here building boats. Because I like building boats. And this is one of the few games where I actually get to build boats. A lot of other games, you get to build spaceships, you get to build, hover vehicles or driving vehicles or whatever. But this is the first game, really, where I get to build boats. So that's usually what I spend my time doing. Yeah, spawning that in the seaport is not going to be a good time. I was working on a hydrofoil. This is kind of a work in progress. It's kind of a test bed, sort of. Trying to figure out how to get a hydrofoil system working. I had one a long time ago. I had a hydrofoil system on a boat. Unfortunately, that boat got lost in a hard drive crash. So I've been trying to figure out how to do it again. This is as close as I gotten so far, but it, as you can see, it's got its issues. it bounces itself out of the water. It doesn't get up to a maximum speed because it keeps bouncing itself out of the water. And it's very unstable, which a hydrofoil is not supposed to be unstable at all. So this is kind of one of my test beds, which it's not going well right yet. But perhaps if I were to upsize it, give it a lot more weight, it might actually function better. Right now it's just a really light build, light vehicle. So there's not a lot of weight to it. Not a lot of weight to it, not a lot of, anything to it. The inside is kind of empty. I did put some weight on the bottom just to kind of keep it balanced, but yeah, it's not the heaviest. Yeah, pretty much leapfrog boat. Yeah, pretty much. This is one of the rescue cruisers I was working on. I have to do a lot of redoing on this one. I think I showed this one before, I'm not sure. I have a lot of work to do on this one. I have to redo the engine system because I figured out a better way of doing nuclear reactors. I have to redo the dive pool because I figured out a new way of doing that. At least, not the dive pool itself, but how it functions, like going up and down. Radar system doesn't work. I need to fix that. And the fire hose in the back for some reason doesn't work either. I think it could be the altitude that it's off the water. So, because the water line's about here, and it's got to pump the water up to there, so that could be the issue. Also, this boat's not very fast, which for a rescue boat, that's not really a good thing. And here it comes. Game instantly goes, "What are you doing?" So up here, I have a radio up here. I've got my speedometer, battery power, because this thing is battery powered, it's electric. Back here, I have a console station. This is for the forward gun on the front. You can see it up there. Rotate it left to right. And it does have a limited up and down as well. Can't really go down that much, but it can go up a decent amount. And you can see it all from here. And of course it also fires from here. So hit the space bar and she goes into reloading. For some reason I don't have that on the controls there, but I should put that on the controls. So, and then it goes to ready to fire. We got a green light. And we'll go over here and we'll take a shot. Boom! And then it goes back to reload. And the thing I like about this system is I set it up so that it'll automatically go back to target when it's ready to fire. So even if I were to aim up, and let's say I'm pointed over here, my barrel's up, you can see my barrel's up, watch. I fire, barrel goes back down, goes back to center, goes into a reload mode. When the reload mode's done, you'll see it go back, barrel goes up, and we're back to target. So it actually took a little bit to get that to work properly every single time. But I think the results speak for itself. I'm pretty happy with that. Once again, you can hear the buzz of the reactor. This is not open, this is actually a window. Can't get to the lower deck from the upper deck, unfortunately. Because the reactor's in the way. I couldn't put a staircase in anywhere here. Okay, so on the back, I've got this here, which I haven't been able to get it to work. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, what do you know? It's gonna play along today. Okay, so maybe it does work today. It was not spraying this well a few days ago when I tried to get it to work. So I don't know what the hell's going on right this second that it's all of a sudden the fire hose is now working. Because I don't think I made any changes. But anyway, look at that, it works. Oh, I know what I did. I hooked it up I hooked the cannon up direct to the water supply, and it's not passing through a pivot anymore because the whole chair used to pivot instead of just the fluid cannon. The whole chair used to pivot. And I think that's where the issue was. It was losing pressure somehow in that pivot. But anyways, so the fire hose on the back works wonderbar now. So fireboat is now possible with this guy. Also has a tow cable on the back. Pretty heavy duty system. It's got 2 magnets on it, so yeah. We'll close this up and we'll go down here. I'll show you the lower deck. So we open up this door and come in down here, and you can hear the buzz already. It's actually a loud buzz, but we're not even in the reactor room yet. Now we are. So here's the reactor in this one. You'll notice it looks the same as the reactor I had before, because it is. Water fight. So this is the same reactor I've used time and time again because I like the build. I like the design I was able to get with this reactor. It's small, it's compact. You can see here I got different boiler setups, and this is when I go into here, you'll see the difference here compared to my other setup. So here I have 2 steam boilers running 4 turbines each. You can see the fluid pumps that I had before, like I showed you before. I have too many fluid pumps in this setup. I don't need 2 boilers. I'm wasting too much time heating up 2 boilers instead of just 1. All of these turbines can be run off of 1 system. And to top it off, look at my drive shaft here. Remember I said no-nos? When I was talking no-nos, don't put bends in your drive shaft, don't do anything. I got a bend right there. I got a T there. I got another friggin' bend here. So this bend should be the only bend. It should be coming out, doing 1 bend, and then going straight to the generator. But look at this. I got it coming out, bend here, bend there, bend all over the place, and another bend into the generator. So these generators do not put out nearly as much power as they could be putting out if I had this properly set up like I did on my train. They put out a fraction, and I need more cooling. I've got 2 steam condensers here, which I don't need. Or actually I got 4 steam condensers. I only really need 1. So this is my early work with nuclear, and as you can see, it takes up damn near the whole ship instead of taking up, maybe the size of a freight car. So things change, you learn how things work, and you move on, basically. This is the dive pool, as you can see. I went through a few iterations of this dive pool as well. You can see the door down here. That was actually a recent development, a kind of a recent development. I had to figure out how to empty this room fast, because you don't want to spend 5 hours sitting in the dive bell waiting for this large room to unflood itself, basically. So I created a holding chamber down there where the water will come in, flood this area here, and then you can see all the pipes and pumps to drain this area. And it's got my automatic, I like to call it a sump pump system. So when it detects water, when the fluid thing detects water, that's when it turns on the pumps. Saves power, so your pumps aren't running when they don't need to be. It just makes the whole system a little more economical, shall we say. And then, of course, this goes. Why is there water in there? Why is there water in there? Why is this room flooded? Oh. Because I don't have you sealed off. Shit. Okay, well, this guy needs to have a wall put around it because it is open to the upper deck. Through this slot right here. So I have to box this in. Otherwise, my ship's going to flood. Well, I should say otherwise my ship is flooding. That's the water line right there. Oh, let me in. Yeesh. At least it's all draining down into there. So it's not flooding this room yet. Okay, so when I want to do my dive bell, I I don't believe I have this set up yet either. This is another thing I gotta do. I get into my dive bell, there should be a button here that says... Oh, the moon pool doors. Okay, does it actually work though? That's the question. So we'll see if the moon pool doors open. Oh, they do! Yay! Okay, so the moon pool doors have opened. I don't know why I'm swimming, because this is actually sealed. I should not be swimming right now. Exterior lights on, off, and then we can go winch down. There we go. See, now I'm dry. For some reason, when it's in the boat, it detects you as being in water, even though you're not in water. I'm in water now, but the moon pool is sealed, or the this chamber is sealed. So winch back up. And we're winched up, and then I can close the moon pool doors. Moon pool doors are closed. Yeah, that's just a glitch. You can see the water's pouring in now. Because there was no water in there. I'm just going to leave that open. The moon pool's sealed, so this will drain. You can see the water level going down. And the water's actually pouring. You can see it's pouring into that reserve chamber there. That's where the water's all going. And the reason why I needed a reserve chamber was because, like I said, it took way too long for this room to drain, and I didn't want to flood the rest of the ship leaving this room before it was drained. So I have it going into that area down there where it will be pumped out. So once the water's down there, it will then be pumped out, and this room will, as you can see, go dry enough that I can leave it. So right now I can leave. Little tiny sploosh of water going into back here, but nothing major. This area also has a drain valve. You can see it right there. So that way I don't flood my ship. Although for some reason, well, I know the reason, my ship is flooding up front. Because of my gun turret. So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell, that's my boat. I don't know if I have the switch on the outside of the boat still. I do not. I used to have a switch down here that I could open the bay's doors from the outside. Oh, but you can see the bay's draining. There's the drain valves right there. You can see the water coming out of them. So that's it's being pumped from inside in that little storage tank underneath, and it's coming out here. There's another set of drains. These drains are for the reactor room, or not the reactor room, but the steam boiler room. Those drains there and these drains here are for those rooms, just to make sure if any water does get in there, it won't stay in there much longer. Am I ready for next week? What's next week? I don't even know what's next week. I'm never ready for a Monday. Never ever ready for a Monday. Okay, what was the other thing? There was this one I built. This is a fuel carrier. Its only purpose is, as it says, to carry fuel. And it is a slow boat because it carries so much fuel. I'll spawn it in. It spawns in with a full load. Well, as full as you can get it without sinking the boat. There she is. So these are as full as they get. You'll see they're only half full, but that is because if I filled them all the way, the boat would sink. So I have quite a few of these. I'm carrying 140... what am I carrying here? 147,500 liters. This one is 142.17. This one is 142.17. I think the rest are 142.17, 142.17. And then this one here is the ship fuel. It's got 116,462. You can't actually get into the one that's the ship fuel. It's a sealed, even though the button's still here. I forgot the button. I forgot to take the button out. But it is actually a sealed hull, whereas the transport ones are not sealed. I got to pump in and pump out, so I can pump in fuel. I can pump out fuel for each one of these. And of course, it gives me warnings. Like right now, the light's red. That means this is the maximum load that I can carry in this tank. You can see the red line is 122. That's when the red light comes on. If this thing goes over full, because I set these up proper. If this goes over full, like if the white bar goes to the end on all of these tanks, it's not good. It is very bad karma. I haven't really done anything to the inside of the boat, except you can see I have exhaust and air lines for the engine. So I haven't really done anything to the interior of this one yet. I got the exterior done. There's the exhaust and the thing. So I have a full captain's area with nav lights, exterior lights. I can turn the nav lights on and off. You can see them there at the far front. Exterior lights, which are spotlights. I've got the fuel tank level. I've got the anchor control, and I also have side pilot stations, which I can activate by pressing a button. So, side pilot station is now on, and I can drive from the side station. If I turn this off, you can hear the engine dies. Press WSAD, nothing happens. Turn it on, and there she goes. So it moves pretty good for a freighter. I got the automatic anchor system, so you can see here when I hit my anchor button, which is over here, my auto anchor system. So the anchors go down, and then the magnets engage after they clear the boat, and then they lock onto the ka-tink, and then they stop winching out. I made this system a long time ago, this anchor system. It's completely automated, one button. So right now the anchors are, that's all the line they're going to put out, that's all the line they're going to pull in, because they are locked on. If I turn them off, it shuts the magnet off, and with the magnet off, they retract. So, ka-chink, and they retract. Turns the magnet off, and they retract back up. So I believe I put it on. I believe I put that system on the workshop, or that controller on the workshop, a long time ago. But it works good for any situation, because you know, you never know how deep of water you're in. But with this system, as soon as they touch the ground, they stop letting out water, or they stop letting out line. So as soon as they hit, ding, you can see there's a little tiny bit of slack, but they've stopped letting out line, so you're not going to drift. You're going to stay where you are. I don't know what I have for power in this thing. Judging by the, I have a diesel generator, but judging by the looks of it, I think that's what I put in here. Is that what I put in here? How the hell do I even get down there? Oh, I must have put a diesel generator, because I'm using a fuel tank here. Question is, how the hell do I get below deck? I don't even remember how I got below deck in this thing, or if I even made an access. I may not have. Did I put in... I didn't put in stairs yet to downstairs. Wasn't that just beautiful? take a look inside. So these are the tanks. Good sized tanks. This is the tank for the ship's fuel. And then, oh, okay, I didn't actually build an engine room in this one. I just kind of built a, here we are. Okay, so it's running one generator, one medium engine, which is actually doing pretty good on a medium engine. And it looks like 2 large generators. Those are definitely 2 large generators. And 2 diesel engines. So that system, this is going to be my auto battery system. I'll guarantee that's what these guys are, is my auto battery system. Yeah, engine generator controller. So basically, when the battery gets down to a certain level, these things will start the engines and run them at a high RPM until the battery's full or topped off. When it hits 95%, it shuts the engines off, and we just run off battery again. So where are all my batteries? These are not my dry batteries. These are probably my auxiliary batteries for everything, for the pumps and stuff. There's my battery bank for driving. Okay. 10 batteries. Okay. And what do I have up here? This is my... Oh, my averagers. Okay. So these guys take the battery power here, average it up, take the battery power here, average it up, and this is going to be my 2 averager. Yeah. So it takes the average from here, the average from here, adds it up. And that way I get a really, really accurate reading of what my battery's at. Now, in Stormworks, normally you can just read one battery, and that'll tell you what all the batteries are at. But I like to average them up, just to make sure I have the most accurate reading possible. Because I don't want like one battery to be at 78% and another battery to be at like 76. I want them all to be, I want to read a stable battery setting. Even though I don't think that happens in Stormworks, but you never know. They may change things one day. Elbow cough. They may change things one day so that the batteries drain at different rates. And on the day they do that, I will cry. Well, actually, no, I won't, because I'm already prepared for that, because I have everything averaged. Alright, so there's that one. My next one, I got my tugboat here. This one's pretty much done. I had some more engine work to do on it because the generator's not really powerful enough to keep the thing charged. But I find I can normally go to where I need to go and back again without needing to stop. So I can make jumps here and there without actually having to stop. But when I hit that, when I hit a destination, I stop for a little bit there to do stuff. And usually that's enough to get the batteries back up to a decent charge. You see I got equipment on the back here. I got some ropes, fire extinguishers, torches, yada yada yada. I got a winch on the back here for winching things up onto the deck. I've got tow winches back here, so I can tow. Which of course this is a tugboat, so towing is, a thing. At the front I've got another winch for either linking me, I can lock onto a target. Actually, I have a winch here. This is the winch for towing, but there's also a set here on the front. These are magnets, so I can actually lock onto a target. Like I can bump up against it and lock onto it, and you can see they are shock absorber driven. So they're each individual. Each magnet is individual. So like just because a surface may be uneven or whatever, like the 3 center ones would push in and the other ones would stay out a little bit, so I could get the contour of whatever I locked onto. So I set them up to be kind of independent that way. Independently suspended. This is my winch controls back here, so I can, again, winch something onto the back deck. This tugboat also has a little bit of a secret. It's armed. So, I got a gun turret on the back here, and it really makes somebody's day. if I have anybody, you know, trying to come up on me and raid me, one person can be driving away while the other person's shooting back at them. Because you really don't want to, go head on against something. But if something's chasing you, it's nice to have a little bit of a defense. So that's what that's all about. It hides nicely under the deck. Of course, in here we have our med bay and just a little computer station. The computer station doesn't work; it's just for looks. But we got a med bay, all the medical stuff, first aid kits, defibs, another fire extinguisher. And of course, we can go down to below deck from here. Yeah, let's do that, because there's no real way to go below deck from higher than here. Alright, so we got the engine room here. This is our double engine setup. Which, these engines... Are these direct drive? These might be direct drive now. I used to have them on a generator system, but I think... Did I change this to direct drive? I may have. Because I got a clutch system in here and a gearbox, so this may be direct drive now. So back here's the gun. The reason I have this door here is not to get into it, which you can actually. The reason I have it is because ammo access, hello, ammo storage, 1, 2, and 3. So I can take ammo, reload. Same on this side, I've got ammo here, reload, and then send the turret back up. Like so. And there's also a button over there in case you're seated in the turret, you can send it up. You can set it up by pressing that button on the far side. So I can reload the turret from back here. Actually, the best way to do it is, this is a kind of a three-person boat. You got one person up in the driver's seat, one person in the turret, and one person standing right here. So when the turret says reload, like the turret guy will say reload, you press the button, bring the turret down, open your thing here, reload, 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 reload. Good to go. Send him back up. And then he can resume firing at whatever target's chasing us. So it's kind of a three-person boat in that regard. Doesn't need to be 3 people, but more effectively would be good with 3 people. So going in here, we have beds here and here. I want to do something with this area. I kind of wanted to... the Halo tugboat, yeah. I kind of wanted to put something here. I don't know whether I'm going to put a little eating station or what, like a little table maybe, just to make it look more like a room, more like a what do you call it? A room where people would hang out. Living quarters. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, and then we go up to the pilot's area, which is up here, the pilot cab. Up here is all the control systems. So we've got the port anchor, starboard anchors. I can do those individually. Throttle, reverse, forward push magnets. Those are of course the ones that are the cluster on the front. We've got the spotlights, and then of course your compass, your speed, and wind direction, all that kind of stuff. Back here is main power breaker, so on off, engine starter. Oh. I need to turn that on too. I think that's got it. Or did I need to give it a little fuel? I don't remember. I might need to give it a little fuel. There it goes. So these are direct driven now. I used to have Asimov pods down here that were on electric. And the reason I changed that out was it was just too hard to control. The boat was too unstable. This is max speed, unfortunately. This is one of my slower boats. It's only made for little island hops. It's not really made for like big ocean missions or anything like that. And the engines, of course, I could probably better gear the engines so that they run at a higher RPM, and that way I get more throttle out of them. But I haven't really played around with the engines too much on this one. I thought I had a neutral setup though, so when I bring it down, it does a neutral, but I guess not. Oh, it does stay running. So I guess, yeah, there is a neutral. Okay. It's running at a low RPM neutral. But it never goes into a high RPM, which is the problem. Anchors down. Dink. Dink. And the boat comes to a stop. Anyway, so there's that one, and there's two more I wanted to show off. One is my sub, but I'll get to that in a minute. The other one was my battleship, which I have. It's glitchy as hell right now. I'm trying to get it fixed. So I don't really want to show that one off. Where is my other one? I don't know if I got this one working properly yet or not either. This was supposed to be a fast, high-speed rescue boat. As you can see, I have it running off of battery system with a generator. The reason I did that was, again, this is going to be a quick rescue. It's not going to be a running up to the Arctic 500 miles away. It's going to be a quick rescue, and that's why it only has a generator and uses electric, because I find electric engines give you much more thrust, even though they're harder to keep charged. So that's why I went that way with this one. Although the problem with this one is, as you can see, water affects Stormworks. They still haven't fixed that. So turn the starter on, and she's ready to go. That's all I got to do is turn the starter on. And she goes. Now this one actually, you can see there's no rudder. This one actually uses the propellers as the steering. So when I go left or right, what it actually does, you can see how it cuts how the propeller shift. So the one propeller stops, the other propeller kicks in. That's what gets me this ridiculous fast turning capability. I could turn this thing on a dime, like literally. 3-hour cruise, not in this thing. So I can literally turn this boat on a dime because I have one prop running forward, one prop running backwards right now. And that's what gives this such good maneuverability, good speed. Turn the emergency lights on. See, we got our police flashers, red and blue. Got spotlights, all the good stuff. We got the equipment. There's 2 seats up front. There's a med bed in the back and another seat in the back. So I can pick up a group of 4, plus myself. But as you can see, where's my battery charge? It's already down to 39, 38. So this one actually goes through more power than it generates, which is not a good thing. This is why I say I'm trying to work more on the engine on this one, because it is not generating enough power to keep it running. This is a very, very short distance response vehicle. It's made to get you there fast, and then it's made to sit for a minute while you do stuff. So whether you administer first aid or whether you have to go onto an island to get them, it's made to sit there at the dock running and recharging. So it's made to like, I just stopped. Okay, why'd the engine stop? The engine shouldn't stop. The engine should stay going. Duh. Okay, well I gotta apparently set that up. Because the engine should stay going when the battery's below 75%. The engine should be running full. Because this way, it's actually going to run out of power. And it's only going to be able to run on what the engine can provide. Which right now, as you can see, is not enough to get this thing moving very fast. So that's a fix I got to do, which is why this boat is, of course, white, because I don't have it tuned out. I've got little glitches still in it. If the boat was actually colored and all that stuff, that means the boat's ready to go. Or pretty close, anyway. So am I close enough yet? I am close enough. Okay. So there's that boat. Oh, fuel loadout's on this side. So I can see my fuel tank and a release connector for it. And up front, of course, like I said, I got all the gear here. Defibrillator, I got a flare gun, I got binoculars, flares, radios, med kits, all that good stuff. Okay, I was holding off on this one. I'll do this one now. This is my nuclear sub. I did not actually build this as far as the submarine body goes. I did some major modifications to it, but I did not build the actual submarine body. I got it off the workshop, and I put a lot of work into getting it working. Did get some feedback from the guy who did develop it, because he was thrilled to see that I used his hull. Apparently he has the opposite problem as me. I have trouble designing hulls. He has trouble getting them to work. Whereas I'm more of the engineering side. I love to get things working. I love to, mess around and make things happen. But I'm not very good at designing the hulls. You can see a lot of the boats that I've designed, like from square one, you can see like that. And the train, which is just a square, and a lot of the stuff that I design is right from scratch, is not... I designed this one from scratch. See, it's more boxy and kind of a roundish front. Like this one's a workshop one. I got that hull from the workshop. Any of the hulls that don't look all boxy and stuff. Like this hull I designed, but it doesn't really function that well. But anyway, I digress. Let's spawn this one in. So this is a submarine that I've been working on for quite some time now. I finally got the dive systems working. I've got the generator working to a point. Once again, I want to redo the generator because I can do it better. This is another earlier generator design. I got a tow rope on the back, believe it or not. And I just detached it. And the buttons don't work for some reason. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I probably have to hook them up to power. So you can hear the reactor. Again, this is a similar build to before. Oh, actually, you know what? Did I redo this one? I might have redone this one. Hold on. So we got our reactor system here. Whoops. You can hear the reactor on, but none of the systems are actually on yet, because I got to turn the main power on. There we go. Now everything's cranked up. Okay, so there's the reactor. Again, it's the same reactor that I normally use. Oh, and I did redo this one. Oh, except this is the one... Okay, I had to do the generators. I had to raise up the generators because they didn't fit inside the hull at the proper level. So this one's a little bit less power. This one does a little bit less power than my train one. But that's fine. It's still enough to keep it running. Or to keep it fully charged. So we'll open this door. And this takes me to the front of the reactor. So, yeah. So this one, I think this one gives me about 1100 instead of 1200 for my reactor output. or my generator output, something like that. I haven't figured out what to do with this room yet. This might be a crew quarter. Might turn that into a crew quarters. This is the pilot seat. I want to do some more stuff in this area too, like maybe put in a radar seat, whatever, when I get radar working. This is more crew quarters. We got berths, and then we got up front. We got the med bay at the front of the boat. No weapons on this thing. This is a rescue boat, not a combat boat. Although I'd love to have some missiles. And this is the battery room. This is the this is all the power, or all the batteries that the ship runs on. Of course, being nuclear means it actually does not run on the nuclear power. It runs on the batteries. The nuclear recharges the batteries. Okay, and I got a seat down here where I can control depth. Got my dive engines on and off. I can see the battery power level. I got my display, my periscope, and cruising speed, depth, and my compass. So, I am actually going to leave this seat for now because I want to go to Station 2. Station 2 is back out on the deck. Here's the periscope right there, by the way. So I'll usually use Station 2, which is this one, until I get out to a good dive depth. So once again, this is just the switch to turn this steering on. No, generators are kicking in. You can hear those powering up. Hear the generators kicking in. Then, of course, these over here are ballast tanks, which I have half full. The ballast tanks are half full, even though, because you can tell the water line is different. The ballast tanks are half full. That's what gets me this nice kind of semi-submerged. But I do not use ballast tanks to go up and down. They are strictly for giving me a neutral buoyancy. I use the fans on the side here to go up and down because I find it gives me better control. So we'll move forward and head out. I love how we're tailing the we're tailing the winch cable. For some reason, it won't go in. I think probably because I don't have power hooked up to those switches. I may have forgot to hook up the power to those switches. And then steering, of course, you can see the steering on the back. And there's also some steering fins over here to give it that little extra steering edge. Because, of course, being so long, it is a bear to steer. And I have solar panels on top, too, just in case. The solar panels are not enough to keep anything running. But they're there just for the sake of having them. We got a little radio up front, which I intend to hook up for something. I have not hooked it up yet, though. That's a future thing. Okay, so we're moving away. We're getting a little bit of depth under us now. So how about we leave this station and head underneath? Head below deck. Oops. There we go. And we'll switch over to here. Oops, turn our display on. Aha! So this actual display here is based in the tower. You can see the camera there about halfway up. Not the pointy thing, but the thing that looks like a glass window. The camera's about halfway up there. So that's what I'm looking out of right now. And when I click to periscope, that'll turn on the periscope back here and switch the view to that. So we'll do that right now. And you see it goes up, see it extended up. And we're on periscope view. You can kind of see it go up and down. can't really get to it fast enough out there. There you go. So you go down and back up. So let's set our depth at about, let's set our depth to 8 maybe. Okay. We'll turn on our dive engines. You see the boat going down. Periscope up. Now the periscope will sometimes go under until it gets stabilized, because the front does not have as much weight as the back, so the front kind of bobs up and down a little bit. The back's more stable than the front. You can see the front going up and down with the buoyancy. And eventually it does stabilize. The motors right now, though, are causing a gyration. Let's put a stop to that before it rolls us. I had to take out my anti-roll system to make room for the reactor. So. Sometimes it can build up these little sympathetic rolls. So you can see the motors going faster to push it down, and then they slow down to let it come back up. Then they go faster to push it back down. I can trim that out a little more. By using more varied numbers. So like instead of having the engines go to full throttle and then off and then full throttle and then off, I can have them go just, you know, 25% throttle, and then if that's not doing it, go up to 50% throttle. If that's not doing it, go to 75% throttle. So they kind of more balance themselves. But anyway, as you can see, my sub is underwater and cruising along with the periscope. Turn off the periscope view and we are underwater. Turn on the periscope view and the periscope is underwater. So, and we can also bottom it. I'm going to set it to, let's go to 88, which is max, well, not max depth, but it is way deeper than the bottom of the water. So there we go, we just bottomed our boat, and we can sit down here for probably as long as we want. Stay hidden. Even though our dive engines are running full bore right now, guaranteed. Yeah, they're running full bore to keep us on the bottom. If I go and check, I doubt we're using any power. No, our battery's at 99%. Generator's outputting 460. Why 460? It should be outputting a hell of a lot more than that. Okay, I got a generator issue. Because that should be putting out at least 800, if not more, with this design. So something is screwing up my generator. And it could very well be that I had to do the, I had to go up with the generators. Couldn't run a straight line. You can see here. Yeah. You can see how these, instead of coming straight back and going into a generator, they come back and go up and over. That loses a lot of power right there, having to do that. And the same with the bottom one. Coming up, that loses a lot of power right there. So that could be why I'm not generating near as much power as I am for my train design. which is the same. It's the same components, same everything. It's just a different, slight different layout. In that the generators are a straight line instead of being up, elevated a little bit. Okay, so we can't stay on the bottom forever because, as you can see, our battery is actually going down. We're not staying at 100%. Because our generator is not keeping it running. Boiler temp is stable. Pressure stable. Generator output is low. So there's our issue. We cannot maintain this depth. If I shut those off, it'll probably fill right back up again. Relatively quick. Oh! Look at this! What is going on here? What is going on here? Okay, we're running at almost 1,000. Why? What happened? What happened to change that? Other than we weren't sitting on the bottom. Weird. Okay, let's just go to depth 8 and see what happens. Go to depth 8, which is going to take us under the water, but... Oh, wait, did I turn that on? Oh, I didn't. There. That's going to take us under the water, but not to the bottom. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we're staying at... Okay. We're definitely underwater. Our generator's staying stable. 928. And we are most definitely underwater. Yes, we are. Okay, so now... Let's go to 28. Which I believe is on the bottom. Look at that! As soon as we touch the bottom. As soon as we touch the bottom. I can tell we're on the bottom because the thing's flat. The boat's flat. Look at that! The generator output almost drops in half just by touching the bottom. Just by touching the seabed. Wow! What is up with that? That is weird. That is weird. Okay, I definitely got to submit a bug report on that, because that is weird. And as soon as we leave the bottom, look at it go. Look at it go. Wow. Weird. Okay, that's a new one. I haven't seen that happen before. I don't even know why that would be happening. Makes no sense. Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense. Because the dive engines... Okay, the dive engines are running to keep it underwater when it's at 8. So, why when it touches the bottom, all of a sudden, reactor output drops by half? That is weird. Mind you, it doesn't drop on the way down there. So it's not a change in the engine power, because the engines are running full to get it down there. So it's not like they're putting out more power once it reaches the bottom. That's weird. Anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. Just because It's been a while. It's getting close to supper time, and I'm getting hungry. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you for joining me for, you know, this video that I'm doing today. I know they're getting rare, but hopefully I'll get back into them eventually and do more of them. So anyway, take care, everybody. This is Jodian signing off. I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.